Welcome to the 2019-20 Interim Comprehensive Assessment for ELA. This brief presentation will give you an overview of the following. The purposes for administering a district-wide ICA. Our team's review of the 2018-19 ICA administration and our data analysis of Suhsd overall results. Our development of the 2019-20 ICA based on feedback and data analysis, and an overview of the resources available to help students prepare for this year's ELA ICA. There are four major purposes for administering a district-wide ICA. The first purpose, practice, is founded on the assumption that we value the teaching of the Common Core state standards and that the state CASP system assesses those standards. Therefore, it's a worthwhile endeavor to give students a chance to practice in the same context they will experience with CASP testing in the spring. The second purpose, student performance, is to use the data from this test to analyze student performance and then make instructional decisions and modifications based on those results. This second purpose is intended to provide teachers with the information needed to meaningfully impact student learning based on data. The third purpose, school-wide performance, allows the site to look at overall patterns and trends across the school with the intention to identify ways the district and sites can increase support for student learning in the schools. The fourth purpose, predictive, allows the site to predict their CASP scores in the spring. The development of this year's test began with a thorough review of last year's test. First, specific feedback from the debrief sessions last spring was reviewed. Next, the team reviewed the data from each individual item to see if it met district criteria, 0.3 to 0.7 p-value and above 0.3 point by serial. These values allow us to determine if an item yielded accurate and reliable information about students' performance. After this review, the team determined that they could reuse 21 items from the 2018-19 assessment and would need to add 19 new items and associated passages. When designing the blueprint for the new assessment, the team used the practice and student performance purposes to influence standard selection. This was accomplished by designating some standards as focus standards and others as supporting standards. For results to be valid and actionable when analyzing student performance, a focus standard must be tested with at least 3 items. Supporting standards have fewer than 3 items. Focus standards were chosen to represent essential skills across all content areas, and supporting standards were chosen to give students experience with expanded content. The team had several goals for developing the new blueprint, most importantly to address essential learning in all content areas. This was accomplished in 3 ways. Items were included to assess literacy from history, social science, science and technical subjects, and ELA. Additionally, text passages that represent social science, science, and ELA were selected. Finally, speaking and listening standards were chosen to highlight skills needed in every content area. Another goal for the blueprint was to develop a test with more than 50% of the items representing non-multiple choice item types. Non-multiple choice item types include hot text, multiple response, and evidence-based selected response. Finally, the team made a range of depth of knowledge a priority, striving for around 10% DOK 1 and 30 to 40% DOK 2 and 3. The next 3 slides represent the blueprint that was developed for the 2019-20 Sequoia District ELA ICA. Looking at the blueprint, you will be able to see how many items for each standard were included in the 40-question assessment. This blueprint also identifies the focus standards, which will provide us with actionable data to analyze when we debrief the results in January. They are highlighted in yellow. The flyer in which this screencast is embedded includes information about the test administration. It also has links to the test's blueprint, a feedback form, and a link to a Canvas page with standards-aligned strategies. These strategies can be used to help students learn the content and skills required by the standards, which are represented in this assessment. Thank you for listening.